Good evening, folks. Making this video today on Monday. I was meant to do it yesterday, but I got very busy. Lots of family things come up, so I'm doing it today now. What a weird weekend of boxing we've just come from, particularly where it comes with refereeing. I've never seen two referees just fuck it up, basically. We'll start with Janibek Alimkhanuly. Now, I always fuck his surname up, so I do apologise to anybody who's Kazakhstani or from anywhere in that part of the world. I'll just call him Janibek from now on. He defended his WBO middleweight title against Stephen Butler, and he knocked him out in the second round. Now, this was quite peculiar because Jack Reese was the referee, and he's usually a pretty good referee. However, he took a big left uppercut, old Butler, and a couple more, and he was down. He got up, but I could see from watching my television that he was fucked, and he could not continue. He should not have continued. Should not have been allowed to continue. And even Jack Reese, you could see him looking at him saying, "Are you okay? Can you continue? Are you okay?" Of course, Butler saying yes, but his fucking legs were gone. His legs were jelly, and then when referee went to restart the fight, and he sort of pushed Butler back, Butler sagged back against in the corner, and then he took another load of punishment, uppercuts and left crosses and God knows what, and then still Jack Reese allowed the fight to continue. And I was just like, I was screaming at the fucking telly, "Stop the fight, man. He's fucked. He can't go on." And that was unbelievable. It was awful. Awful. That guy took far too much punishment. I mean, Janibek won the fight. Yeah, he's a fantastic finisher, and I like him. I think he's got a bright future, in my opinion. He's a bit green, obviously, as a pro. I mean, I know he had a long amateur career. And that was only his 14th fight and his second WBO title defence, but I think he can improve. I'd like to see how he goes from then on. I mean, there was talk of him. He was calling out Alvarez a little while ago. I was like, mate, no, don't. You're not in that league yet. And on the undercard, Jason Maloney, the Australian, twin brother of Andrew Maloney, picked up his first world title. He took the vacant WBO bantamweight title by beating Vincent Labio from the Philippines, and it was quite an enjoyable fight. The crowd seemed to get a bit annoyed, a bit restless, and they were booing at one point, but I thought it was an enjoyable fight. I mean, one of the judges had it a draw, which I thought was a bit strange. I had Maloney a winner. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Maloney brothers. I think they're very talented young men. I say young men; they're in the 30s now. But yeah, he's picked up his first world title. I mean, because obviously he was knocked out by Inoue a few years back. So but yeah, no. So I enjoyed that very much. His brother's going for a world title. I think either this week or next week. So I enjoyed that. That was a good night. And obviously, the other fight, the main one that I want to talk about, is Romero is now a world champion. How the fuck this guy got a world title shot after Tank Davis starched him, I don't know. He hasn't fought for nearly a year since that fight, obviously. And it seemed all very rigged in his favour to pick up the vacant WBA light welterweight title or super lightweight title if you're American. They stuck him in with Ismael Barroso. And it's like, I thought he'd retired, to be honest. I've not heard anything of him for quite some time. And I thought, well, this is pathetic. Yeah, and they're calling this a world title fight. But actually, Barroso came to fucking fight and came to win, and obviously he dropped Romero with a straight left. I think it was in the third, and I thought, oh, and I actually had him winning. I actually had him winning the fight, And then this is where the other fuck up referee bullshit came in. Referee Tony Weeks, who I have never had a problem with. I've always thought he was a good referee. Jumped in, basically stopped the fight. In the 9th, I believe. Yeah. I don't think any clean punches were landed. Not that I saw. He was kind of pushed over. I mean, the crowd showed their displeasure. All I've seen on social media the past couple of days is it's rigged, it's corruption, it's bullshit. It's hard to argue when you see shit like that happening. I mean, Christ almighty, I don't know. This fucking sport, I despair of it. And I say the WBA, as you all know, people who've seen my videos for a while, I hate the WBA. I think they're a cancer to the sport of boxing. The WBC aren't much better. The WBA in particular, I can't bear. So now Rolly Romero is officially a world champion, and I think it's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever seen. It really, really is. They seem to be targeting Ryan Garcia. I think Garcia will completely fucking annihilate Romero. He's a terrible fighter in my opinion. I've not really got any really good things to say about the guy. He's a loudmouth little prick. He's got no fucking skill. Not compared to the elite guys in the division. He's not an elite boxer, and he doesn't deserve to be world champion. And he was behind on all the scorecards. And I think Barroso was done dirty there. I don't like to scream corruption straight away, but it's pretty hard to defend that stoppage. Obviously, if the WBA had any fucking balls, they would order a rematch, but I don't think they will. Obviously, Barroso's 40 now, so you know it's unlikely he'll have a look at that. But no, that was such bullshit. I was absolutely fucking horrified by that stoppage. I couldn't fucking believe it, and nobody else could by the looks of it. So, yeah, 2 L's for the referees this weekend. One for stopping a fight too early, and one for letting a fight go on too long. I think some of these refs need to be investigated to make sure they're actually fucking capable of doing the jobs, because it's hard to defend these people, you know. And whether or not the WBA are corrupt or PBC are corrupt or whatever, I mean, boxing's always been a corrupt sport. Boxing will always be a corrupt sport. It's just an unfortunate thing, you know. Goes with the territory. I mean, they've got a vast, murky history, which is hard to defend sometimes. And I find myself quite often looking in the mirror and questioning why the fuck do I love boxing so much? Bullshit like this is happening. You know, it ain't fucking right. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing weekend, really, overall, especially that fight, Romero against Barroso, and the 2 referee fuck-ups. And then, now, as you know, I don't follow YouTube boxing, but unfortunately you can't get away from it on social media. It's fucking everywhere. And I didn't see it because I'm not interested. The KSI fight the other day. But a friend of mine, he actually sent me a short, I think a minute clip of a fight that was on the undercard of a chap I used to watch on YouTube sometimes. Played a character called Francis Boogie, something or other is his name. Fighting another big fat piece of shit. No idea who. I've never heard of the guy. Don't know who he is. Apparently he's another YouTuber, and that was the most embarrassing fucking thing. It's only a minute long clip I was sent, and I just went, "What the fuck is this?" And then I was informed it was on pay-per-view as well. Who the fuck paid for that? One, who the fuck decided that was a good idea to put that on? Because that's just a fucking disgrace. It's an embarrassment to call that fucking boxing, or whether it be YouTube or anything. And 2, who the fuck cleared those 2 to fight? They're both big fat heaps of shit with boxing gloves on, just swinging at each other. What the fuck has the world come to when people are paying to watch that shit? I mean, I haven't really got a problem with YouTube boxing. If people want to watch it, that's up to them. There's a big market for it. These guys are getting paid millions. I don't begrudge them, for Christ's sake. If I was young enough and skilled enough, I'd probably have a go if somebody offered me millions to do it. Absolutely. I'm not going to judge people for taking the money, but fuck me. That it just boggles my mind that people paid for that. I mean, each their own. You want to pay money to see that shit? That's up to you. But fucking hell, I was just absolutely gobsmacked watching that. No, absolutely. In my opinion, it's an absolute fucking disgrace. But there you go. You know. And then of course the big headline after that was KSI won with a fucking elbow. I thought, well, to call this boxing, it makes me think back. I used to watch pro wrestling a lot when I was younger, and then in the '90s, you obviously had WWF, WWE as it is now, and WCW, and then in the late '90s, you had this backyard wrestling stuff with basically fucking untrained morons smashing each other with light tubes and putting each other through barbed wire tables and jumping off fucking sheds on top of each other, putting each other in the fucking hospital. That's what I think of this YouTube boxing's basically becoming. That's the boxing equivalent of backyard wrestling from back in the late '90s, early 2000s. And there's a market for it, but it's not for me. But there you go, that's just my opinion. As I said, we're all entitled to opinion. You might not agree with me, you might agree with me. Doesn't really matter. We're all entitled to our points of views. So, but the good news is, next week, it's going to be a big week of boxing. Obviously, the main one I'm looking forward to, Devin Haney defending his undisputed lightweight title against Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm really looking forward to that one. And then on the same night, 20th of May, we have Katie Taylor challenging Chantel Cameron for the undisputed light welterweight title for the females. So, and I'm torn with that one because I'm a big fan of both Taylor and Cameron. So I don't really know who to root for in that one, but as long as it's a great fight and there's no shenanigans, I don't really mind. So, right then, that's enough out of me, folks. Enjoy your week, and I'll speak to you soon.